Hello YouTube, I'm here to explain the real issue with the hip joint, because if you notice something, unlike last video, my scrapper is straight, and I can't fix the issue. So to explain, if we go here, if you look at this joint, notice how it's flush here, but there's that little gap. I can wedge the screwdriver in up here. Basically, each time you use this ratchet joint, because of how tight it is for combined mode, it stretches the purple casing out, which stretches out this track, which after a couple of uses has resulted in this gap here. And this little gap of extra space caused by this stretching out is the whole reason I can't align the torso. Like, if I ratchet this and then try and ratchet it back, that little gap is the whole reason I can't snap it together. Because look, that little gap is enough to create this gap here, the ratchet. And that's just not an issue. I can get it to snap straight if I wedge this in and then force it. Like that. I can get it to snap straight. But the issue is this will affect everybody. And I don't know if Texas Heat has accelerated this, but each time you use that ratchet joint, it stretches this casing out just a little bit more. And eventually, once there's a thin enough gap, like you see how thin this gap is, it's barely anything. But that thin little gap can just prevent the ratchet joint from working, because it allows the gears to be misaligned. And yeah, like I said, this will happen to everybody, because all it takes is for this ratchet to get a little bit stretched out, the casing. And this happens no matter what. The only solution to help prevent this would be to loosen this ratchet joint by cutting the spring, for example, like a good old Titans Return Triptychon. But you can't do that because even if I remove this pin here to access the screws, you can't remove these shoulder pins because they're one way. They're only exposed from this end. So, you can't remove them. And I don't recommend breaking them off either, because these are the only thing holding the shoulders together, the upper torso together, because there's no screws above here. It's just these pins holding everything there, which you can't remove. Look, there's no gap here. So yeah, each time you use this guy's ratchet joint, it stretches it out just that little bit more. So, good luck. Yeah. Spoiler alert, my opinion on this set has gotten worse, because I was just going to say this guy's Unite Warrior Scrapper with less paint and worse proportions. But now he's Unite Warrior Scrapper with worse proportions, less paint, and a ratchet joint that will eventually get to the point it makes the toy unusable unless you use a thin object like a screwdriver to snap everything together. But the more you mess with that, the worse the stretching gets. So eventually, I'll need to use a quarter to snap everything together. So yeah. So, in short, each time you use this guy's ratchet joint, it stretches this purple piece out just that little bit more. It's an issue we haven't seen yet, because I feel like I'm the only one who likes messing with ratchet joints and hearing satisfying clicking sounds. Because each time you use this guy's ratchet joint, you'll eventually approach this area where now his torso won't snap straight. Because I haven't mentioned it, but for the 2 months I've owned this guy, I've had 0 issues with that ratchet joint. So the other day I bent it and bent it back, and now he's just... yeah, this is just unacceptable. So that's really what's going on.